Hi guys, hope you guys are good. I thought to drop a line for artists, especially if you're a singer, songwriter. Let me be the first to tell you you're doing well. And I'm saying that not just because I don't have anything else to say, but just being part of the process, being someone who's been in the industry for almost 3 decades. I've seen how it can be very discouraging when, as an artist, you put your work out and people say very nasty things. Let me explain. Now, for those, and this video is purely for artists, so if you're not an artist, this is not for you, but you could also, learn of this. Being an artist is not easy. It's almost like being a Christian. It's one thing to come into the knowledge of the gift that, you can sing or you can play an instrument. It takes a lot of courage to be able to write a song and take it to someone to practically tear down. For someone to say, okay, you know what, remove this part. Because when you were receiving the inspiration, there was nobody critiquing you. So it takes a lot to sit down and allow someone else criticize your song, constructively or otherwise, and you start producing. You need to pay the producer, by the way, and most times you have to pay hundreds of thousands to get good guys who can interpret your song well. Then you have to pay backing vocalists. You get people who understand your sound, you bring them together, you pay them, then you pay the producer to mix and master your work. You have to go for a photo shoot, you need to go and, make yourself up, buy costumes, you're spending more money, you create your artwork. And then if you want to take your music to the next level, then you talk about shooting a video, which costs like 5 times the cost of making the music, and already we're looking at almost 1 million or millions already. In the good old days, you would have to take it to a radio station. You have to beg some OAP, or some presenter to play your song. You have to tip them regularly. Otherwise, they play your song once and that's it. Your heart is, every time you produce a work, half of your heart is like involved. And then, in the modern day, you have social media. You have online platforms like CD Baby, Spotify, Deezer, Boomplay, and all these other platforms. You still have to put your music out there and someone listens to your song, and God help you, your song is about like 3 minutes 15 seconds. Someone comes across your artwork and they have 3 minutes 15 seconds. Sometimes this process I just described could take months or years, and it takes 3 minutes 15 seconds for someone to look at all that effort, all that process, and make a mockery of it and say, oh, okay, not bad. No, they could do better. Now, the reason why a lot of people do not appreciate artists, and I don't care what level you are at, whether you're on level 1 or 2 or 3 or 10, whatever level you are at, you really deserve an accolade. And it's because your music never displays the process. It never lets people know that this 3-minute song took 5 years, 4 years, 1.5 million naira. It doesn't say anything about the process. And someone listens to your song and just say something nasty. I mean, I used to be guilty. Years ago, I would have an artist come to the studio and I'm asking, why haven't you worked on yourself? Look, build your skill. Even the Bible, sometimes I even use the Bible wrongly. I tell people, the Bible says, show me a man diligent in his ways, you stand before kings. Diligence is not something you wake up in the morning. It's not breath. You don't grab it. It takes time. Some of the artists we're looking at today that we say they're whack, that they're not good enough, most of those guys have been on this thing for years. For some of them, their family members don't even approve of them. Like myself. My mom used to tell me that music it should be a hobby. I had to do all that fighting. What if I didn't make it this far? So if you're an artist out there, honestly, I'm encouraging you to tell you that you've done well. When God rested from creating anything more. He was done. So all your gifts, everything you have capacity to do, as far as God is concerned, it is perfect. You are the one that needs to take it from perfect to perfection. So don't let anybody look at you funny, or some blog because you don't have enough money, you don't have enough for your video. Listen, I'd rather you use the gift than die not using the gift at all. There are people who haven't done half of what you have done and they are dead. So don't let your parents, your friends, your family members, don't let anybody, people will always criticize you. People will compare you to someone else. Oh, you sound like this person. Oh, why don't you do better like this person? It's okay for them to compare you with everybody else. It is not okay for you to compare yourself to anyone else. I feel as though that's like the greatest injustice. I'm a music producer. I make my music myself. I have other people I help. But I've seen people go through a process. And whether you are popular, whether you ever make it into some massive platform or not, the fact that you have made it this far, honestly, I congratulate you. And my prayer for you is that God will continue to help you, that you will die empty, that God would help you not to place your focus on Instagram. All you need is 30 minutes scrolling on Instagram, and you can live with an inferiority complex. You can live with what God didn't put on your inside. So please, guys, if you're an artist, Florocka is telling you are doing well. And my prayer is that, you will continue to use that gift, that, platforms will not be the basis for you using it. I pray that you will die empty, that God will look at you and go, Kai, I gave you 10, you use the entire 10. God bless you guys.